funny bone. How's it going, guys? It's my first Q&A video for a really long time. Get some food, get a drink. This is gonna be quite long, I can imagine. Just the other day, I put out a post, the first one for a while, basically saying, what do you guys want to know? Let's get right into it. Adrian asks, is there a practice that allows your fingers to move faster and more precisely? Also one for picking. I can answer both with one lick, really. Moving over to the guitar, let's go. I'd say picking would be Zakk Wylde stuff. In my opinion, licks like this. There's nothing better than that because 2-note per string stuff has to be in sync in order to work. Also, you ask for one for improving your fingers' speed or getting your fingers faster. I'd say anything legato bass. Because that encourages this to do all of the work and this guy can take a back seat. Try some of those out. Legato and Zakk Wylde licks. Sam Kumar asks, please make a long video only playing Jakey Lee riffs and solos, maybe like a tribute or something, because there's not many videos of Jakey Lee out there. I have done exactly that. About 3 years ago, maybe even 4 years ago, I uploaded a video or 2 videos where I did all of the riffs and some solos from Ultimate Sin and Bark at the Moon. There are 2 different videos out there, go and watch those, I'll leave links to them in the description. Josh Pierce asks, how many takes do you do before you get a solo right where you want it for a video? Depends on the solo. If it's something with a lot of feel and nuance or maybe certain harmonics, I can be there for hours, no quantifiable amount of takes, but sometimes I'll nail it on the first one. It really does depend on the solo, but usually the magic number with takes for me is I'll do 3 versions and pick the best of 3. Guitar's coming back for this one. Shred Talk TV asks, what Jakey Lee solo or lick do you find yourself coming back to for warm-ups or just good old fun? Nothing specific, probably stuff off the Bark at the Moon albums. I love these. Everything with big vibrato on it, but also love things like, you know, you get that Jakey Lee pass here. Things you get from Crazy Train and live versions from Jake. That kind of idea. That's my Jakey Lee stuff that I return to. Robert Clark asks, how's your pop? Being my dad, will you two be getting together again soon for a video? I ask this often, I know, but I'm also asked on my channel as my son is extremely talented as you are. Nice one, mate. And nothing more beautiful than a father and pride, his child sharing music. I agree, and we're going to be doing a video at some point this year. My dad and I are in business together and we've got a lot of stuff to do, but we will be coming together to do a video at some point this year talking about guitar bargain hunting, because a lot of the guitars you see behind me were bought really cheap secondhand, and we're going to send out a few tips and tricks and advice on how to get them cheaper. Sam asks, how to dress like a rock star and be different in today's world, mostly black jackets and belts and wristbands and long hair. What are your views on it? I'd simply say, go with what works for you. If you have a vision in your mind of a look that you want to pursue, absolutely go for that. Whether it means you've got to work out and get yourself in shape, I'm not an advert for that, but if you want to have arms like Zakk Wylde, absolutely go for it. But when it comes to trying to look like someone who represents a certain genre, I don't always suggest that's the way to go, because the more you try and copy who inspires you, as fun as that is for the person doing it, you become harder to spot. And one thing that I think has helped me on this channel especially is I don't have the long hair. I don't look like a typical rocker. So maybe that works, I don't know, go against the grain. How about a collaboration with Ches Kane? I have no idea who that is. Let's get IT on that one. Ooh, hello. I Just Want You, what might this be? Very 80s, skip forward. Sounding good, pretty heavy. Yes, that could be a shout. Anthony Marabito asks, why don't you have a tier style Patreon channel? I would gladly hit pay to hear you go even more in depth on theory. Well, the simple answer to your question, just to start with the theory part, I'm not a theory buff. I just have really good ears. I can pick up pretty much whatever I want and learn it. But when it comes to the actual theory side, I didn't ever apply that to my actual playing itself. I learned intervals and that was about it. But when it comes to the actual Patreon page itself, that normally requires courses or a structured way to approaching the guitar, which is not how I learn. So if I was to do any kind of page like that, I'd have to think very, very carefully about how I put it together. That's very true to myself, but also very effective for anyone who's willing to pay to watch me go through that stuff. James K asks, what other forms of music, if any, other than rock and metal do you listen to, and how has that music affected and or influenced your playing? I listen to stuff that's very removed from what I do. I like to listen to a lot of piano music a lot. I found a TikToker recently called PARIAH, who is incredibly influential. Anna, I think, what's her name? Anna Lapwood as well, another organist who I like to listen to a lot at the moment. And also other, not so much guitar related music here, but I do listen to people like Moby an awful lot. Moby did famous pieces like Novio and Porcelain and all of that stuff. It's very cinematic music. That I find really inspiring because I can listen to that as a fan and not analyze it, because if I listen to guitar related music I don't fully relax in here. I'm constantly transcribing and trying to work stuff out now. It's just who I am. I'm going to do some quick fire questions now. Get ready, this is going to speed on by. Do you think 1 hour a day guitar practice is enough to become a decent player? No. If you could play with a band, past or present, who would it be? If we're talking in the past, David Lee Roth. Present, probably Bad Wolves. A picture of your Yamaha THR-10X settings and other amp settings you have. Watch that video up there. Did you go to music school? No, but I did get a degree in music business. Is Harley Benton making you a signature guitar? Nothing planned at the moment. What are your thoughts on George Lynch from Dokken and Lynch Mob? Great player. Austin Gaines asks, how to record guitar and get a good sound for Instagram posts? The simple answer for me would be, I leave my phone on the speaker of my Yamaha amp. The proper way to do it would be to get a hold of some cheap recording software and sync up the audio with the video. Heavy metal is not a choice. With that, if you had to pick one genre of music to play for the rest of your life, what would you choose? Thank you very much for watching, and I appreciate you being here. I would say rock. Corey asks, I'd love to hear your opinion on what kind of pickups you think would sound great in Charvel guitars and why. And the short answer would be anything would work. However, my favourites are, grab this guitar here, PARIAH pickups. This guitar has Blackheart and Leone sets. You got Blackheart in the bridge and a Leone in the neck. Fun fact, if you buy a Leone pickup, we named that pickup. That's another story in itself for another time. But just to give you a little sound demo here, I'm working with overdrive. Louder. It sounds really, really full and rich. In the middle they sound great as well. They've got that chirp to them. Sounds nice. The Leone's awesome. Everything's super rich through them, and they also split nicely as well. This is the neck split, for example. Lots of fun to be had there. They are my favourite pickups, PARIAH, Blackheart and Leone's. Frankie Torres asks, are you making YouTube videos full time or working a day job as well? Are you a cat or a dog guy? Start with the second question first. I am a dog guy. I like cats too, but dogs are where it's at for me personally. Are you making YouTube videos full time? Not really anymore. I do work for myself, and most of my time these days goes to my dad and I work for a film company. We started one just before the pandemic set in. We film schools, stately homes, posh hotels, and occasionally the odd super yacht, and we have a blast doing it. And that's why you might have noticed in recent years that I'll be on YouTube for 3 months uploading maybe 3 or 4 times a week, and then I'll disappear for 3 or 4 months. That's what I'm doing, and that would be it. I also do a lot of guitar teaching and also session work too. People will approach me saying, can you put this solo or some riffs down on my song? And that's what I'll do. Good question here. Maddie asks, what's your astrological signs? I'm a Gemini, and I'm about as true to my sign as you can physically get, whether you believe in that stuff or not. But also, to add to my case, I am an identical twin, and Gemini is the sign of the twins. How influential have your parents been in your guitar playing? Do either of them play any instruments? My dad plays guitar, he's the reason I started, and without him I probably wouldn't be playing. I don't really know how else to say it. An absolutely integral influence on my life, and most of my musical taste has come from my dad as well. My mum showed me a lot too, but it's mostly been my dad. Although my dad can play a fair bit, he showed me my first chords and then did the best thing ever actually in this respect, and pretty much said, learn what you like, but then would give me recommendations if I ever hit a plateau. So he couldn't have been a better musical influence in that respect. Learn what you like, but if you ever need anything, let me know. Absolutely brilliant. Thanks, Dad. Best Randy Rhoads riff and solo in your opinion? A riff, that's very, very difficult for me to choose, but in terms of solos, I can give you two choices. Best solo if you're learning, Crazy Train, because it contains everything. But my favorite solo in terms of its composition and just overall flair is going to be Tonight off the Diary of a Madman album. Definitely a sleeper solo on Randy's part there. Is there anything that you struggle with musically, for example, songs that you would like to learn but are intimidated by? It's a good question. To start off with your first one about is there anything that I struggle with, it's not so much a struggle, but it's something I'd like to constantly improve, which is my improvising and my timing, and that sort of fits hand in hand with my rhythm playing, I suppose. I'd love to be Guthrie Govan level at improvising at some point. Is there anything that I'm intimidated by? I don't really get that feeling anymore because I've been playing the instrument for such a long time and I'm passionate about it. If I really, really like something, I feel I have to learn that, and I'm quite compulsive about it. I won't put down the guitar, and if I haven't nailed it, I've at least made progress. And that's been my mindset since I was a kid. Then on the flip side, if I hear something that could be incredibly technical, let's name a band, Polyphia or Periphery, that kind of music, I don't get intimidated by it. It's just something I'm not that interested in, for example, and I'll listen to it and be like, nice, enjoy it from afar, but it's not something I get intimidated by. It's either I really want to learn it or I don't. Thanks a lot for being here, guys. I hope this has been helpful for you. Please make sure you like and subscribe if you enjoyed the video. I'll be back again with more tutorials and lessons and maybe the odd cover in the very near future. Thanks so much, guys. I'll see you in the next video. Bye-bye.